Baby, quiet as it's kept, the name of Robyn and Gizelle's podcast should be Throwing Stones and Hiding Hands. I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. Y'all, so launching right into Candiace, Chris, and Dorothy. Now, y'all, I'm not going to belabor this point, but the entire time that I was watching this scene, all I could keep thinking about was that it was giving me very Candy Todd vibes, right? And I say that to say this: successful woman in the middle, moderately successful man in the beginning, and the mama who wants the best for the daughter but can't help herself in terms of being as shady as she wants to be, right? And so I really feel that to sort of button the whole issue up between Chris, Candiace, and her mama is that Chris needs to become successful at something that's separate from Candiace in his own right, okay? And I'm not saying that she can't be involved. She can be a partner in it. She can be his cheerleader on the side, but he needs something of his own that he's successful at by himself, right? Even if it's with Candiace's help, in order to sort of calm the fears and the constant speculation from the mother, right? If you relate this to the Candy and Todd situation, that whole dynamic with Mama Joyce didn't get better until Todd had something of his own that he was successful at, in terms of, he was already a successful, I think it was a TV producer or an entertainment exec or something like that. But once he started producing his own shows, his own content, the play in conjunction with Candy, as well as working on like the OLG restaurants and their different ventures, that's when the mother started to see him in his own right as his own person, right? So going back to the Candiace and Chris situation, Candiace, I know you love Chris, okay? And Chris, I know you love Candiace. But just because two people love each other does not mean they need to be everything to one another, okay? And I think for the sake of your marriage and for the sake of not conflating roles in terms of husband and manager, it will be much better for you to step back from the manager role, be the husband, and create that own lane for yourself, right? Separate from Candiace, so that everyone is not thinking that you're riding on her coattails, you're on her payroll, etc. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Mia and her mommy have a little sit down to try to work on their relationship. Y'all, I thought this was a really interesting scene just to understand the psychology behind the disconnect that they seem to be having, right? So if you look at it, they were already sort of estranged after Mia was put in foster care when she was younger, right? Then the mother spends 6 years in prison. She gets out and she becomes closer to the other daughter than she is to Mia, right? And that situation happens all the time. Hell, in my family, my grandmother has always been closer to my aunt than she has been to my mother, okay? And that's really just because of proximity. You know, just to tell a quick story about, my family, we're from Guyana, right? So when my mom escaped from the third world country when she was like, 17, 18 and came to America, my grandmother and my aunt got very, very close, right? So I'm not saying that the whole situation between Mia and her mom is due to Mia's mom not loving Mia as much as she loves his sister. It could really just be a case of proximity, right? Who you're closer to, who you felt more comfortable in at the time. And listen, if you let Mia's mom tell it, Mia reminds the mother of the father, right? So it could be a sense of proximity, and also that you remind her of someone that she once knew, okay? That's that Usher. What y'all know about that? But I think the only thing that's really going to help that situation, y'all, is just time. It's going to be time. It's going to be relationship building. It's going to be having those tough conversations at the table. It's going to be shedding some tears. It's going to be trying to get to the root of y'all issue, right? Because if the mother and the sister are close because they spent so much time together, you can't expect that you, just starting on this relationship, Mia, with your mother in terms of trying to get closer, are going to be as close as your sister, at least initially. So you're going to feel a certain kind of way for a bit, but you know, because you both have the same intentions of trying to make this better, I think that the end result will be good for the both of you. Moving forward, Karen being a smooth criminal regarding Wendy and the damn candles. Karen, listen, I love me some Karen Huger. I love how she's had a glow up because of this show. I love how she's expanding the Ladam range. But Karen, when it comes to Wendy and these candles, mamas, girl, you full of shit. You full of it. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying that she's full of it in terms of that she copied Wendy's idea. No, because from a business perspective, in order to already have the product in hand, the packaging done, the relationship with the supplier, you know, settled out, the relationship with the actual the end the end buyer in terms of the store, whether it's Bloomingdale's, Bed Bath & Beyond, wherever it's going to be sold at, in order to have those things in place by now, it would have to literally have been developed at least a year ago, right? So I don't think that she sat down with Wendy and said, you know, I'm gonna expand Ladam and I'm gonna create a candle, and then this was the end result, you know, quick, fast, and in a hurry, right? But I do feel that you are a little bit full of it, just in terms of how you didn't tell Wendy about the candle initially, okay? That's a little bit shady. And I know in your confessional, you were like, it wasn't pertinent to the conversation. I was just trying to help her with her thing. She didn't need to know about mine. But your whole explanation of this is a 1-wick candle, or you got a 3-wick and she got a 1-wick, baby. I did not go to school for candle making, okay? So I don't know the difference between a 1-wick, 2-wick, 3-wick candle, baby. But they all burn the same in my opinion, okay? Like, I have never Tootsie rolled down to the store and been like, you know, let me get a 1-wick candle versus a 2-wick or a 3-wick because, you know, I got a larger space or I need, you know, more scent to disperse around my area. I don't know. But if the candles are the same size, what does it matter if it has 1-wick or 3-wick? Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if 1-wick versus 3-wick makes a difference in terms of how the candle smells or disperses in the area. Because like I said, I did not go to school for candle making, so I don't know. But just in terms of how she brought the conversation over to Wendy, I want y'all to pay attention to how she did it, okay? When she was at that table and she smooth said, you know, it's going to be the time for my candle right now, but, you know, yours is on the horizon. We are going to be 2, you know, successful Black women in the billion-dollar candle business, and there's room for both of us, okay? Bravissimo. Because in order to spew that much shit, you got to believe half of it, okay? That's all I'm saying. And yes, she is right. There is room for the both of them in it, but that is not the genesis of the issue here, okay? The issue is, Karen, okay, that you and Wendy are going into candles and you did not tell her in the forefront that you was going into candles too. So listen, I'm glad you smoothed it over and it seemed like it went well with Wendy, but I just wanted to point it out that you could be full of shit too. All right, to an issue that has perplexed me for a couple weeks now. The mystery of Askale's money. Now, y'all, ever since I watched the episode last week, and I think I also watched the after show, so I would encourage y'all to watch the Real Housewives of Potomac after shows. You learn a lot. But Mia said that when Askale showed up to Candiace's video shoot, she was driving a Range Rover with dealer tags, right? And so she was saying it in a way where she was like counting Askale's money. She didn't know about the car and stuff. Now, I had to do some research on my own because when I thought of dealer tags, I thought of those new car tags that you see when you got a new car. So I was like, you know, why is she hating on this girl? You know, mama just got a new car and she's driving her new car down to the damn shoot. Baby, after a quick Google search down to the Google told me that dealer tags are when the dealers put, special tags on a vehicle, like in terms if you were going for a test drive, right? So when the cars sit on the lot, they don't normally have tags on them at all. So in order to drive the car off the lot, you put dealer tags on them so that you can drive them around without getting flagged by the popo, right? So basically what Mia was saying in terms of Askale having these dealer tags is that the car is not necessarily hers, which led me to the idea of, Where in the hell does Askale get her money? Okay, because Mama was introduced as Robyn's assistant, but I'm telling you, Robyn ain't paying that high to keep you in Chanel, Fendi, Gucci, Prada, and all these other D&G things that you rolling up through the damn screen with. So make it make sense. I don't want to count anybody's money, but in my mind, what would make this whole situation make sense is if Askale's husband owned a dealership, right? If he owns a dealership, it's done at that point. She's riding around on dealer tax because her man owned the whole dealership and she could drive any car on the dealer lot that she want to, okay? That's it. But if that's not the case, then listen, inquiring minds want to know. I'm trying to come up in the world too. I need to know how I could be driving on some dealer tags and the car ain't mine and it belonged to my man's dealership lot or whatever. So listen, if y'all can drop down in the comments and let me know what Askale does. If you watched the episode, she said that she was in education. So listen, that whether she was an actual teacher, professor, or a substitute teacher, that ain't enough money to be rolling around here on a Range Rover salary. So I don't know, okay? So in my mind, either Askale comes from money or her husband comes from money, or with their unified household, they're able to afford these things. So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know. Hit me to Askale's profession or her husband's profession, and then I could quiet my mind. Moving forward, Gizelle's construction site house. Y'all, when I saw that Gizelle was hosting this damn reasonably shady podcast down to her front yard under a tent, I had to think to myself, let's dissect the reasons why this would be the case, right? So I said, okay, she can't have it at Robyn's house. Why? Because Robyn is in a townhouse right now, okay? And I'm sure the damn HOA wouldn't be none too pleased with her erecting a tent in the middle of the damn thoroughfare of the damn HOA townhouse-based community, okay? Furthermore, Robyn is building her new house right now, and that's actually under super construction, like wooden things up, like picking bathrooms and stuff, picking, finishes and furniture and all that other stuff. Like, she's busy with that right now. So it's not even in an environment conducive to that, right? And so then what I subsequently thought was, did all the rental event spaces in the state of Maryland, the town of Potomac, the greater Washington, D.C. metro area, concurrently explode? Like, why are you holding this in your front yard? Like, I don't understand, okay? And then, baby, what came down from manna, like manna from heaven to me, was that Gizelle's construction site house is an extension of her pretty girl syndrome, okay? And let me explain. Because Gizelle's pretty girl syndrome is why she don't dress well, okay? And that's why Karen is always coming for her in regards to her outfits. Gizelle is a very beautiful woman. I will never take that away from her. But sometimes with the pretty girl syndrome, what pretty girls will do is that they let their beauty write the check for everything, okay? Right? So their beauty is supposed to overcome all of their questionable fashion choices, right? And so that's how Gizelle sort of operates in this group in life with her house and her furnishings, etc. Okay? And so to me, the fact that she had this damn party in the front yard is an extension of the damn pretty girl syndrome, because it's like, I'm pretty, this my house, that covers everything. Y'all don't need to be worried about that. Okay, I got that under control. Y'all need to focus on this tent, okay, and these nets. Okay. And these colorful chairs and these things that's blowing off in the wind because I didn't check the damn weather.com forecast for what was going to come through today. Okay. So I don't even understand, but listen, pretty girl syndrome must be, embedded into Gizelle's mind, because that's how it comes across on the screen. Now, Gizelle decides to make a bathroom comment re Wendy and Karen. Honestly, y'all, that comment that Gizelle made launched the whole shady aspect of the whole event, right? And just to recap, Gizelle wasn't sure that she wanted everyone at her house because she didn't want certain people in her house regarding in her bathroom. And it's because of the people that she had problems with in terms of Wendy and Karen, right? Now, it's fine to have those thoughts in your confessional. It's fine to tell Robyn those thoughts on the phone. What I didn't understand is why she felt it necessary to bring it up down to the event. It served no purpose but to put them on edge for everything that came afterwards. Now, she didn't have to really worry much about Karen, okay? Because she had squashed the issues with Karen last episode or the episode before. I forget. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what it was. But furthermore, Karen had got the damn vaccination shot and Mama was in a psychedelic paradise, okay? She was not there. She was coming in and out the conversation, but Wendy was quick on it. So I just thought, just in terms of trying to move forward with people, like, why would you even bring that up? It just didn't make sense to me. And it's Gizelle is shady just for the sake of being shady. That's what I pretty much, settled on. So let's get into this reasonably shady game. We only gonna pick a few of them because there was a lot of stuff that came on and a lot of different conversations that happened after this. So Wendy telling Candiace about Mia's comment during the shoot, was it reasonable or was it shady? I think it was both. I think it was reasonable and I think it was shady, and I will tell you why. The comment in terms of Wendy telling Candiace what Mia said, it was a legitimate thing that you would tell your friend in that situation, okay? You would tell your friend what somebody else was talking to your mama about, okay? However, even though it was legit and I feel that it was reasonable, it was ill-timed, okay? Because that was not the place for it at all, okay? You was down to this damn girl's shoot, okay? The lady was going through stress, struggles, and strife in her life in terms of being late, the car's not being there. She's trying to get her, 1-2 step, drop it low, cha-cha on, okay? She had a lot of things on her mind. So the fact that you brought it up, I understand why you brought it up because you felt you were being a good friend, but it definitely was ill-timed. Now, furthermore, the whole question on Chris and his payroll and whether or not he's on Candiace's payroll, same thing. It's a reasonable question, but it was shady as hell as well, okay? And which means that it was a legit question in terms of inquiring minds want to know, and the question is not shady on the surface. The fact that Mia asked it to your mama, that's what makes it shady. If she had taken you to lunch and had a little, one-on-one conversation to ask you this question, I don't think it would have gotten as much attention as it is now, right? So legit question, but ill-timed. I did like, though, that Robyn was kind of the voice of reason in the situation, trying to make the question go over better when she was talking about how, at one point in time, I was on Juan's payroll, so it wouldn't be a question out of the ordinary if Chris was on yours. Now, just to take a step back for those of y'all who don't know, rich people from time to time, in order to get rid of that whole, my family is hitting me up for money, they're always broke, they're always on my line, they always texting my phone, they need this, that, and the third. In order to calm that down, or just to provide income for them in case you are their main source of income, what wealthy people, what rich people will do, what people in power will do is that they'll put their family and friends on payroll. And what that does is it gives them essentially a paycheck every 2 weeks on schedule so that they don't have to ask you for money. And so I don't know the laws on the whole payroll thing. I don't know if they actually have to be providing services in terms of to earn the money, but suffice it to say, if Robyn was on Juan's payroll and Robyn wasn't doing any sort of, basketball duties down to Juan's basketball job, I think it's safe to say that you can put someone on payroll, give them a bullshit title, and make sure that they're paid, right? So I thought it was cool that Robyn brought up that point because that sort of legitimized the question in terms of, is Chris on payroll, right? Because it's a possibility and it could be. But like I said, legit question, definitely ill-timed. And just to sum up the rest of this, y'all, I really feel like the rest of the arguments between the ladies, and there were some really good moments in terms of Candiace's clapbacks and Wendy's clapbacks and them going back and forth. Hell, that damn beloved comment that Candiace threw at Ashley took me all the way out, though, okay? But listen, I really feel that whole section can be summed up by throwing stones and hiding hands. That's really what that section was about. Because to me, in the words of, one of my favorite YouTubers, somebody that I try to model myself after, Funky Dineva, you can't do wrong to an MFer and then tell them how mad to get. And that was the definition of what Robyn and Gizelle tried to do in that situation. Gizelle is already shady on her own. And if Robyn was supposed to be the voice of reason, she turned into the devil's crafty minion in that point, letting Gizelle take her down the dirt road of shadiness, okay? Because you cannot ask these very leading, very controversial, very inflammatory questions to people and then get the response that you're due by the question that you asked, and then try to say, why are you coming for me like that? How dare you come for me in my house like that? You're taking this too far. No, okay? You cannot do wrong to someone and then tell them how mad to get, okay? And listen, just because I'm shady just a little bit, didn't y'all think that Mia was going to launch off on Candiace after she said something about her mama being low budget? Baby, when I tell you, I said, listen, Candiace ain't learned nothing from last season in terms of that reckless mouth of hers. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that she didn't know the backstory of the stress, struggles, and strife that her mama done been through in terms of Mia's mama, regarding, her drug use, regarding her jail time, regarding her relationship with her daughter Mia and her children in general. I'm going to go out on the limb and say that she didn't know, because mama, if you, Candiace, knew that this woman's backstory was what it was and you still decided to send that dig of her being, her mama being low budget, I thought that was a very low blow. And I think that the opinions of the general community would have been split had she responded in kind. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't advocate violence. But like I said, you can't do wrong to somebody and tell them how mad to get. So if the goal of the Reasonably Shady launch event was to stir up stress, struggle, strife, and confusion among your friends, Gizelle and Robyn, you did that. Okay, and I would definitely suggest that y'all invest in a security guard, so when people run up, y'all don't get done up. All right. I think that's all I want to say, y'all. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Stereo, and Twitter at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, if you are throwing a damn event, find a damn event space. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.